So, thought I'm gonna talk about something else today, and that's ungrateful people. So, yeah, there are a lot of people that nothing would be ever good enough for. So you could do anything. You could make the business or the business owner, let's say like there's a business owner, you could make that guy say like 10,000 or 100,000 in profit, whatever, like, and that person would still find something to complain about. That person, that's the kind of person that would look for something wrong despite having the best month of the time. Basically, you could make sure like the business has records profits, and then in the end, as a thank you, you're gonna hear complaints. None of your work is being appreciated. That you put towards it, and despite so many things to be grateful for, or to appreciate, or to be happy about, that kind of person is still gonna find something to complain about. Just gonna encounter probably people like that. For me, it gets to my core. Where I'm like, I can't be around people anymore where they're so ungrateful. And it's not that I expect people to be grateful for everything, where I would say like, yeah, everyone needs to be grateful for everything. But if someone is in the mindset of like not even acknowledging any kind of like effort that you put forward, and in the end complains about it, maybe even puts you down, then it's like, what the fuck, right? So, and that's like people that you don't want to work with, if you even work with those kind of people, because I think they think like it's not even a partnership for them, it's more like you work for them. So they're happy to have a title. It's not a partnership. They're happy to have a title. For them it's only important to have a title. Even though the title means nothing. As long as they can call themselves like, oh, they're the boss, they are the CEO. But a leader is not just sitting there watching, doing nothing, criticizing. No, he's at the front. He's on the front line. A good leader will make himself dirty. A good leader will dirty his hands, essentially. Like, he's at the front, he is doing it. He's not someone that is like just sitting there on the throne, putting down someone else, all efforts, showing no appreciation whatsoever. That's not a leader. So there are certain kind of people like that around who also would piss away any kind of opportunity if that would mean you would shine. So if you are good at something, or you could be shining doing something, if you could have success with something, it's like they rather piss away all the good that would come from you doing that, even though it could benefit that person, because they wouldn't be able to see themselves like as, I don't know, like on top of you or bigger or whatever. Like, no. For them, you have to make yourself small. You're supposed to make yourself small for such kind of person. They want you to act as you stupid, more stupid than they are. Don't hurt their ego by maybe knowing a little bit more than them. Don't be better at something than they might be. And it's like, don't work with such kind of people. That's all I can say to that. That's something a little bit different, but it's just like, I guess like something that again like came up that I feel like I needed to talk about. Where ungratefulness is such a turn off. It's not that someone really needs to be grateful, but really to like put someone down, not to acknowledge like all the work they put maybe towards something, to complain, and that's not good. And I think in life, what I witnessed for myself, and it kind of ties into that too, is that when you complain about something, whatever it might be, life will take that away from you. Now, if you appreciate something, life will give you more of that what you appreciate. There's something, if you complain, be it whatever, about whatever, life will make sure that you don't have to complain about that thing by taking it away for you. And then you can see for yourself whether or not you want, if you're actually happier without that thing that you complained about. Oftentimes I think not, right? So let's say like you complain because your car is not the newest car. You complain because the car is, I don't know, has here and there like maybe some small issues. You don't appreciate that you actually have a car. But if you complain long enough about a car that you have, that gets you from A to B, where you can like be really fast, having the freedom to move around anytime, and you then complain on top of that, having that, then life will make sure that you find a way to like use a bicycle, you know? That's kind of how you see it. Like if you complain about things, life will make sure like you have, you don't have it anymore. And the other direction works too. Like if you can appreciate what you have, life just gives you more of the good things. So if you actually enjoy something that you have, life just gives you more of that. And that kind of like ties into the same that I discussed before, because his ungratefulness, his complaining, was that internal push away that I felt, where I was like, fuck that, no thank you. And that's just in one case the example, but I think that kind of shows it too. We don't want to work with people if they are completely unappreciative and like putting you down on top of it. Where you could be working like weekends, whatever, like putting night shifts in, whatever, like, and in the end it doesn't matter. Like as it, like all of that, like all that you put in doesn't matter. So, no. And that also ties again into your own thinking of what you're worth. Now, if you're like someone that is hardworking, and I don't mean necessarily hardworking in the sense of physically active, but maybe it could be also something very mentally exhausting, or something that takes really a lot of time, where you actually do spend your 10 hours, 12 hours every day, and you're putting all that time into something and all that research, all that effort and whatnot. If all that work is if you do all that and you undersell it, let's say you give it away for free, then you can be also sure that if you do that, if you put all that time in to develop a skill, to become more knowledgeable, to be better at something, then even if you have that kind of person around who nothing is ever good enough for, who only will complain about whatever, then you still have those skills, and you don't have to undersell yourself and give it away for free, or like throwing it at someone for free or stuff like that, where you like that person that devalues you or what you do is not going to find another hardworking person as you doing the same as you do. So like if you're just aware of like, if you the kind of person that developed a skill or works very hard on developing a skill or does all that, spends all that time that normally any other person wouldn't have to actually look into something, and many people are lazy. Many people do not spend a lot of time to actually develop a new skill, get better at something. They're staying with that area, that the only area that they know. So they would, for once, not being able to do it themselves, even though they might come across as a know-it-all, where they might act like, yeah, they know it all, so now they need to command you around, or nothing is good enough, you know. For once, they couldn't be doing it themselves, and they would also not find someone like you again. So value, see how much you're worth, in a sense. Recognize your worth. You can ask yourself, like, what are the odds of that person? If you're someone that gives a lot effort and a lot of like work towards something, and you're not really charging anything, or you're charging very little, or you're just like giving it away for free, or like, you know, like that is something that you can look at, and you will realize, if you take yourself out of the equation, you can ask yourself whether or not that person that's nothing ever good enough for would be able to do it themselves. Would they spend all the time necessary to have those results, to get good at this? Most likely not, but just ask yourself those questions, right? Like, is that person capable of doing it themselves? Would they actually spend the time in doing it themselves? And would they even find someone like you again offering it for a very good price, or like very cheap, or for free even maybe, or like as a favor, or like whatever it might be, you know? If you undersell yourself, or you give something, your skill, really for basically nothing. And like, I think like to an extent, like in a family, it kind of maybe should be like that, although there is no word like should, depends on like the scenario. But there are people where you can give it, like, basically you don't have to charge anything, you're good at it, whatever. Or like maybe it's a favor, you give something, you get something. But with certain people you have to watch out, because no matter the amount of time you put into something, it's not going to be good enough for them. They're not going to appreciate it. And yeah, I don't want to say like you deserve better, because that's such a stupid saying that goes around, everyone saying that, oh, you deserve better, you deserve better. But you don't. One thing you certainly don't deserve, I think, is being put down, despite how much hard work you put into something, or how much time you put into something, and effort you put into something, and how accommodating you are and catering towards someone, or a client, or whatever it might be, you know? Yeah, that's just one thought to, I suppose, the I'm not good enough. It kind of ties into that idea, where someone treats you like whatever you do is not good enough. Well, it's not that you might not even be good enough, but for that person, just whatever you do might not be good enough. So you could make like, you could actually like make the record, make the business, whatever you might, or let's, for example, say you work for a company, you make record profits, the company does better than ever because of you, and then the boss will, or manager or whatever, like in this example, would come to you and say, you know what, why is this that? Why is this not like this? Why have you done this? No. And there will be no appreciation for what you've done. And it's also a little bit like a shame to throw that away, to put you in chains like that. For once, I think any kind of work scenario should be like a partnership. Like rather like seeing that you be able to like work with someone, not putting work out for someone who thinks then that you work for them, and it's not like a partnership anymore, but rather like some kind of like you're like the employee, right? No. That's at least my thought to that. So work for yourself, have partnerships, don't work for someone that cannot appreciate anything you give towards a person, right? So all the efforts you put towards something. And don't let other people like dim your light. Don't make yourself small for other people, so that you don't hurt a fragile ego about that there could be someone existing that actually knows a little bit more or is better at something. So don't make yourself small just because like other people cannot have an issue with that, right? And these are my thoughts to that. I also gonna mention again like Google, because as long Google and YouTube is doing their shadow ban thing, I keep mentioning it. I do my free promotion towards YouTube, and just talk about like how they like to censor things, because they kind of deserve that. They want to censor content, silence people, then I'm more than happy to talk about it, as long as it takes to actually make people either aware or like, I don't know, speak the truth about it, right? Maybe like Google or YouTube should start actually looking at it, stop censoring people, shutting them down because they might have an opinion that is against the woke narrative. But until they do that, until they stop censoring people or like censor my channel, I'm more than happy to talk about that. So I'm also on Rumble. You can follow me on Rumble if you want to. I'll still upload on YouTube as well. Even though like it's being censored, I can at least leave my mark on my remarks about Google and YouTube. Because whether or not they want me to be silent, by trying to silencing me, they're just like amplifying the issue of what they're doing. Because I keep talking about it. I will keep talking about it. But that's not an issue. Let's just throw that in too. And I'm gonna, I don't know, if you had encounters like that, where like someone has zero appreciation, where you can do whatever you want, nothing would be ever good enough for them. You could basically like end up with like, you could win a trophy. You could be victorious at something. You could be on the first place, and then they're gonna still say, you know what, you missed a second, or something is not right? And it's like, what the hell? But if you encountered people like that, feel free to like leave your experiences in the comments. Would be nice if you if you subscribe. I'm not usually the kind of guy that tells people to subscribe, because I think people do it if they want to, and they don't if they don't want to, right? But I'm kind of saying it's only because maybe it has an effect on this channel, and whether or not like they keep all my videos suppressed or not. If it's an automatic algorithm that just looked up for keywords and my channel fell under it, maybe with a few more subscribers, maybe that changes something. But even if not, like, it's fine. And yeah, do it if you want to. If not, that's fine too. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.